Let me be clear. We know the end game. While our neighbors to the south will be revving up their economy again, Canadians will be told to keep waiting. While restaurants across Europe spring back to life, Canadian businesses will be told to get on the CERB or bust. And while seniors in the UK will be free to see their grandchildren again, Canadian families will have to continue to see theirs through Zoom or FaceTime. Justin Trudeau has set September as a possible vaccination objective. Just think about that. 10 more months of business closures, of limitations, rising mental health issues, domestic violence, drug abuse. We all have learned the tragic costs of a shuttered economy. This is unacceptable. Why are we so late? What happened? Simply put, incompetence. After all, we know about Communist China. In the spring, when journalists and the opposition challenged the Liberals on China's data, they accused us of spreading misinformation. All of our issues were factual, and all have been confirmed. Now they are doing this again when we challenge them on the failed CanSino deal and their confused and delayed information on vaccines. This incompetence is alarming. But their denial and redirection is even more concerning. As was to be expected, Chinese officials likely benefited from early Canadian advances in vaccine research. And when the time came to ship samples to Canada, China broke off relations. After months of putting all of our eggs in the China basket, the government was left out to dry. And then, after this catastrophe, the government still took its time. When this government scrambled to catch up after their joint venture with China failed, it was already too late. Canada now finds itself delayed and behind most other G7 countries and nations with a total population of 2.7 billion people. Will all of these people receive vaccines before all of Canada has the opportunity? In the G20, Canada seems to be the only one with no clear plan for vaccine distribution. Without a concrete timeline for vaccines, businesses won't have the confidence to reinvest in their operations, to rehire Canadians who've been laid off during the pandemic. Without a reliable timeline or details, provinces have the impossible task of establishing complex supply chains with no lead time, without knowing when they can expect a vaccine delivery. Simply put, Canada still has no plan for receiving and distributing a vaccine. And without a plan for vaccines, there is no plan to fully reopen the economy. Justin Trudeau and his government has failed, and he's setting up the provinces to fail too, through his China delays, secrecy, and incompetence. Today, the Conservatives are putting forward an important motion because Canadians deserve certainty, clarity, and competence. We are asking the Liberals to put the health and safety of Canadians first by sharing how each type of vaccine will be safely delivered to Canada, stored, and distributed. Canadians deserve to know the date on which each vaccine type will first be deployed in Canada and the rate of vaccinations anticipated by month. As for a plan, provinces and health partners across the country need to know any intended federal guidance with respect to the deployment of the vaccine by priority group, such as frontline health workers and seniors. Canadians deserve to know the plan for the distribution of vaccine to Indigenous Canadians, members of the Canadian Armed Forces and their families, and veterans, each of which fall under federal health jurisdiction. This is common sense. In the middle of this historic health crisis, this government should not be operating behind closed doors. Before Christmas, Canadians deserve the hope that will come with a plan to roll out a vaccine to help us turn the corner in COVID-19 in the new year. Thank you. Merci beaucoup.
This is not just about, timelines. This is describing the vaccine as effectively human experimentation. So there's a difference in the information. But I will ask again, do you support an MP presenting a petition like this? Have you talked to Sloan about this? And are there going to be any consequences at all?
Well, we had caucus yesterday, and we talk as a team every week. And I think, Cormac, more important than petitions sent in from Canadians across the country is a plan for the 38 million Canadians seeing a government with no information heading into Christmas at a time we're going to be seeing millions of other people around the world receiving the vaccine. You wonder why there are questions? Because we have a government that has been wrong on masks, wrong on human-to-human transmission, slow on all responses, partnering with China, and not answering basic questions like, do we have freezers ordered for the vaccine? You wonder why Canadians are worried? It's the secrecy and incompetence of the Trudeau government.